Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations. Welcome to another episode of Contemplative Living, where we look at and contemplate ways to bring spirituality into our everyday lives. I'd like to read something to start off today. It's by Dr. Wayne Dyer. He was such a shining light. And he says, give yourself a gift of 5 minutes of contemplation. 5 minutes of contemplation in awe of everything you see around you. Go outside and turn your attention to the many miracles around you. This 5-minute a day regime of appreciation and gratitude will help you to focus your life in awe. Isn't that wonderful to be able to spend 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day, in contemplating the awe of life all around us? Today, we're going to focus on flexibility and adaptability in a changing world. That's pretty much what I think a lot of us need because, the world is coming at us at full speed these days, and we really need to come to come to an understanding of how we can react. And so, being flexible and adaptable is kind of key. So, let's get started today. So, our consciousness is a field of infinite potential, a source of unlimited creativity. When hope springs from this place of unbounded energy, anything is possible. So, our consciousness is amazing. And when we reach out with our consciousness into that infinite field of potential, anything is possible because within us, our divine essence has the unlimited creativity of the universe. And it's up to us to try to tap into that. And that's what helps us to build hope and to be more of who we truly are destined to be our divine self, to live within our true nature. And as you can see, this picture is a little whimsical. Poor Mr. Snail here is trying to reach that other log, but he's reaching out, and he is not afraid to use everything in his arsenal to reach the other side. He's not afraid to tap into that inner strength within himself. He has to stretch himself in order to do that. And isn't that what we need to do to be more flexible, to be more adaptive, is to stretch ourselves? When the changing world knocks on our doorstep, and it is knocking on our doorstep, then we have to adapt. We have to step out. We can't be rigid, because if we are, then we're going to create more suffering for ourselves. Now, it's hard to hear that. It's hard to hear that because we all want the stability of what it was we had before. But we need to also recognize that change is necessary. A lot is going on, and we need this change in our life. So, flexibility is its own kind of strength, its own resilience. Be adaptive with clear perception for the right purpose. Finding the right purpose is key here because we can be flexible as long as we stick to who we are and our core principles. And being flexible does create a new strength. You know, a lot of the gyms have opened up recently, and I'm so excited because I'm able to get back to the gym. And to be to build our strength, our own resilience, we need to practice, and we need and that creates some flexibility. Hey, Karen. Hey, Helen. Hey, Gail. Glad to see you're here. And so adaptability is a different kind of strength. Many times we really want to hang on to what the way we used to deal with things. We want to hang on to that. But in a changing world, we really need to learn how to flow. And here we have the world flowing behind this woman as she reaches up for her divine essence to see. Sorry, I don't know why, but my computer keeps thinking that I'm talking to it. And well, I guess I am in a way. So, she's reaching up for that divine nature within her and to be able to go with that flow. It's kind of crucial in today's day because we are living in a ever changing world. I mean, the rules are changing left and right, and we need to learn to shift with it. So let's shift your orientation of the world to only see solutions. Find the way through challenges and difficulties. The best way to find your way through challenges and difficulties is to find the solutions. And how do we do that? We have to find a clarity. We have to find clarity in our being. And the best way to do that is like I read Dr. Wayne Dyer's thing, is to spend 5 minutes a day in contemplation and in seeing the wonder around us. By being grateful and appreciative, it opens us up to see the world with clarity. And with that clarity comes the opportunity to find solutions. Because challenges are always going to be there. We may have overcome something, today and we're feeling great. We're on top of the world. But, in a couple days, there'll be a new challenge. And that's just the way life is. It comes at us all the time, and there's always a new challenge. And how we look at it really determines how the outcomes are going to be. So to maintain a positive outlook and to look for solutions is incredibly empowering, and it brings us into wholeness. When we can stay in our center, then we can uh, live in wholeness. So, like I said, the gym's opened up, and we're trying to be flexible in this changing world, but life requires more than graceful movements. We can't always be grateful. So we train to cultivate a sense of calmness and strength. A lot of times when change comes, we it knocks us off our center. And when we're off our center, we get irritated very easily. And that's happening around us all the time. In fact, there's almost a mob consciousness of aggravation that is just permeating and coming at us all the time. And we need to step back a lot of times to maintain our center, to maintain that calmness. Because when we're agitated, when we're off center, it creates dis-ease within our own systems, within our own body. And we can and it weakens us. It weakens us to a point that even our immune system becomes weakened. And in today's world, we we need the strongest immune system we possibly can have. So we need to train. We need to train. And that's what Dr. Dyer was saying was, spend 5 minutes in contemplation, in stillness, and in appreciation of the world around you. That helps to establish that calm. That's that calm. And with calm comes a new strength because you're strengthening your immune system. You're strengthening your cells in your body. They thrive on a calm, collective being. And that's who we can be. And that is who we can be. And so we need to work toward that. That's not something that's, it's exercise in a way. It's a practice. And I like to, I really do like, I do like to go to the gym, but, you know, many times the clouds of chaos are just on the threshold. They're on the threshold. And they interrupt our peace. So order and peace might be interrupted by the circumstances. Circumstances are always trying to pull us into their drama, into their chaos. And that's okay. That's okay. Because what we need to do is find our way back. Now, this week when I posted this one, everybody loves this little guy because he just sat down. He's just sitting down. Chaos is just churning all around behind him, but he's looking at the beauty that's in front of him. And he's finding his way back to who he really is. Shouldn't we all be doing that? Shouldn't we all be finding our way back to who we really are? Many times we're pulled so far away from ourselves, we don't even know who we are anymore. So it's a constant battle to be who we are. Simply be. We hear that over and over again. It sounds so simple, but it's not because circumstances are all around us and are constantly pulling at us. And so it's part of the practice to build into the practice that sense of who we are. Now, how we choose to respond to struggles tell us about who we are. Remember, I just said, sometimes we get so pulled away, we don't even know who we are. So how are we responding? How are we reacting to the circumstances that are going on around us? How are we dealing? You know, just deal. Well, that's hard too. But our reactions, it's one thing to recognize when something comes at us very rapidly, we're going to have a knee-jerk reaction. That's not really who we are a lot of times. It's when we stop, take a breath, and then respond. Hey, William, that's when we recognize, oh, this is really who I am. I'm not that emotion that just swelled up within me and just came blasting out. That's not me. That is really not me. I am the person that is going to, like this little turtle, he's got he's got his ideal. He wants to go to the sea and he is forging forward and he is whatever, if he has to go right, he'll go right. If he has to go left, he'll go left. But he's going to keep moving forward. And that's kind of how we determine who we are. What direction are we going? And are we trying to move forward or are we just sitting back or are we ruminating in the past? We need to continue to move forward to build that healthy wholeness of who we are. So that's just part of part of the struggle many times is we don't recognize that, oh, we need to move through this. We need to keep moving forward. It's so crucial to who we are, to be maintaining that sense of being of who we are. All right. So, kind of a recap here. Train to be adaptable, yet always maintain your ideal. We need to recognize, what is our ideal? What is our guiding purpose? What is that North Star? We may not be able to ever achieve the ultimate ideal in life. Like, say, my ideal is to live a life in acceptance, tolerance, and truth. You've heard me, that's it's one of my mantras from my near-death experience. And so that's one of my ideals. That's an ideal that I try to espouse to become. I know I'm human and I know that I can never be that 100% of the time, but it's what I train myself to be, is accepting, tolerant, and truthful. Well, along the way, we have to be adaptable. We have to be able to because the world comes at us with many curves, and the road forward is always a winding road. And sometimes it's very cyclical. A lot of times we come back upon ourselves over and over again. And that's okay, because we need, that's where adaptability comes in, because adaptability feeds into acceptance and tolerance. And it allows us to use our ideal. Maybe our ideal is to live with loving intention throughout our days. An amazing, powerful ideal. But we need to be adaptable with that, because, again, the sometimes circumstances are not loving and do not have that same ideal. So we have to rise above. We have to be adaptable and move above in order to. Um, Good morning, Jossie. And William, excellent. Train yourself to be calm and thoughtful, and don't get riled up easily. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is to And we have to train ourselves, right, William? You had to develop first the understanding that this is the way I want to live my life, and then you have to work toward it. And the first time you get knocked off of your path, well, you love yourself and you get back on the path and start moving forward again. And then the next time you may recognize when something's about to pull you off your path, and your adaptability lets you stay closer to your path. It allows you to recognize quicker, and so that way you can move back to who you really are. So flexibility, adaptability in a changing world is a strength that we all really need to help develop. And we have to train to do that. And it's a practice. And so that requires a little bit of discipline. You know, you have to make the appointment with yourself. Make an appointment with yourself to take 5 minutes and connect with yourself. Connect with your true being, your true essence, and allow yourself to be who you are, and recognize that. William makes a good point, understanding that you can't control others, but only the way that you react. That's an excellent way to end. I want to thank you all for attending Contemplative Living this week, and I hope you have an amazing week ahead. Namaste.